This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. It's Wednesday, May 5th. Happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody. Hey. I'm Jeff, here with Stephanie and Brandon. Cinco de Mayo plans?
Oh, absolutely. If I don't show up to work tomorrow, it's not because I was hungover or anything. It's because they gave me off tomorrow.
Oh,
so thank you, Chris, for whatever reason. But are they trying to tell me something? Like, oh, we're
hey, that's a good thing.
They're preempting that you're going to have a good time.
Yes.
I was just talking to my wife about this. Like, remember, well, I'm 42 now, but in my 20s, any day, Cinco de Mayo, St. Patrick's Day, even if I'm not that nationality, I'm celebrating, right?
Martin
a reason
Luther
to go
King
out.
Day, have some Hennessy.
Yeah, all of those. But now it's like, oh man, I'm over it. I'm so over it. You know what I mean? I might make tacos at home.
We don't even have Cinco de Mayo in England, so when I came, I was like, what's this? So
yeah, but just a reason to go out and drink. That's what it was in your 20s, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Stephanie's not jumping on board. Neither is anybody at home. All right, let's get to it. Tristan Thompson has taken legal action against a woman who claims she had an affair with him. As we mentioned, Instagram model Sydney Chase claimed she hooked up with Tristan in January while he was was with Khloe Kardashian. Tristan sent a cease and desist letter to stop her from talking about the alleged affair. So according to TMZ, the letter calls the claims, quote, malicious, defamatory fabrications, and says Tristan has never had any relationship with her whatsoever. So Sydney originally spilled the beans on the podcast and later on TikTok. This video is hilarious to me. I don't know why it's not blown up more.
The girls are what do
The girls are the best. I actually made like a little picture of me in between those two girls and sent it like in a group message just for fun. I thought it would be more of a thing. I didn't put it on social media. Anyways, that aside, do we think that she's lying or do you believe her? I know it's very questionable for a man to ask that question these days, but in this particular case, do we believe her?
I completely understand what you're saying, and I don't think, I mean, this is really, I don't know in this instance because, one, like Brandon said the other day, she could be clout chasing, right? Which she's looking for the fame, she's looking for the numbers, she's gone in like a podcast with her mates. I don't know why they're hanging out with her.
Blackout girls.
And she's like spilling her beans. But I just don't understand why, if it wasn't true, why she would do that. Because if we look at Jordan Woods, who also had an alleged fling, kiss, whatever with Tristan, it completely almost killed her career and her following and her brand endorsements for a long, long time. Like now she's regaining all of that years later.
But this girl has no career. This is the start of her career.
Thank you.
But do you really want to be known as that girl who's
Did you see that video of her with her friends?
Is it my turn yet?
Yeah, buddy.
Because if in the court of since we're in court right now, and I'm the expert with my testimony right now.
Go on. What do you think?
As a former professional athlete. Yes, he hooked up with that girl.
Ooh, really?
Exhibit A. Tristan Thompson is a career cheater. Like, come on now. Like, and that's not even trying to knock him. Do what you do, bro. Big ups to Canada. Alleged cheater.
Big ups. Big ups
to Canada. Big ups to Canada. But this girl has been on that blackout group, the blackout girl groups, has been on that podcast before, talking about how many Phoenix Suns they had in a hotel room before. These girls spill that. These are those girls. These are the type of girls that when you go on the road to a city to play football, basketball, whatever it is, they're lined up. Those are the ones that are coming to the club. So you can paint this whole, that whole Russell Wilson type image on your social media and like, hey, we're cleaned up. Hey, we're taking the kid to go to daycare today. But then you get out on those roads and them blackout type girls start coming around, they're going to have fun. So it goes back to that saying I used to say all the time, you got to get it out to get it in, but to get it in, you got to get it out. So he went to go get it out. So when he went back to that family life with Khloe, he could be chill and get it in.
There you go. Brandon's got something for his Instagram now.
Yeah.
He's posting it. He's
I'm
reposting
posting this today. I'm posting this one too.
All right, here we go. Gwyneth Paltrow says she skipped out on teaching her kids about the birds and the bees. Speaking on the Smartless podcast, Gwyneth said by the 6th grade, her daughter had learned everything about STDs and, quote, all different kinds of sex in school. Let's take a listen.
At their elementary school here in Los Angeles where they went, they gave them the most comprehensive sex ed class in the 6th grade. They came home and they had been taught everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. It was wild.
Wait, what age is 6th grade here? Because it's slightly different in England. So what age?
That's a good question.
13?
11 or 12?
That's about the same as in England. You get taught about the birds and bees around that age.
I think that's when we started as well. That's junior high, considered junior high here. So 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. I think that's around the time when they taught me about the birds and the bees.
Okay.
And I was the youngest of, 2 older brothers and stuff. You learn about that not in school. But I'm going to have that talk with my 2 sons, probably before the 6th grade. I think that might be a little bit old, how to respect women or whatever they choose to do, how to respect just be respectful of themselves and their body and other people's bodies. I'm going to have that conversation with them. My wife is very open with her mother and her family about everything, sometimes too open. But I think that's going to bode well for how we raise our children. I want that communication with me and my sons.
But don't you want to be the one to introduce that to the kids? Like, so do you
of course.
So for the schooling, so you're saying so parents should have that conversation with their kids.
I think it's for a lot of
6th grade.
Again, I'm never gonna tell anybody how to parent, right? But I'm gonna, because I want that relationship with my kids, right? I want them to know they can come to me with the biggest problems ever, not like hide out and learn it somewhere else. I want them to have those uncomfortable conversations with their parents. We all know what we're talking about.
If you have it with them at home when they are younger, it won't be uncomfortable because it's just like, oh, Dad's just telling us. Well,
it still will be uncomfortable.
I learned at school, my mum and dad didn't tell me, and I learned, I'm basing off this around 6th grade-ish. I had no idea. I'm the eldest. I don't have any big brothers and sisters or cousins or anything, so I didn't know. I think I grew up very in a rural little village where, like, you know, we played with the cows and the sheep. We don't really, you know, I didn't know any of that stuff. I genuinely didn't, and I was like, my mind was blown, and I was like.
Did you learn about it in school, though?
Yeah, yes. But I was like, my mum and dad have lied to me. Like, I didn't know any of this, and I was really embarrassed to ask. I was really embarrassed to ask, and I wish, and I'm like, now I'm older, I'd be like, why didn't you tell me? Mum was like, oh, I don't know. Like, I didn't think you were old enough. But in reality, like, I wish that younger.
I think times are different now,
to me about it.
I think times are a little bit different.
So what's the age where you tell the kid that the babies don't come from storks?
I would tell my kids, like, as soon as they, like, imagine I had a kid and then I was pregnant, I would probably tell you to the first child, oh yeah, Mummy and Daddy made a baby or whatever. I don't know. I would never say there was a stork. I wouldn't want to put that in their head.
Yeah, I don't even know if, like, my kids even know what the stork is.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
That may be antiquated then, huh?
I think so. I mean, you could say that, but I mean, they don't understand that anyway. So you just tell them the truth. You know what I mean? I think honesty is the best policy.
Yeah,
like,
you just tell
the babies grow in mommy's stomach, right? Or someone's going to out there be like, uterus, not stomach. I'm thinking of Sam Shocker. Right? You would have checked me on that. But, you know, I think honesty is the best policy for everything in life, right? When I'm wrong, I'm going to be honest about it. With my kids, I'm going to be honest about it. Whether it's uncomfortable or I don't want to tell them or they don't want to hear it.
What age would you tell the boys then?
I think when I start discovering their body and discovering other people's bodies, then it's like, hey, listen, now we need to talk about respecting your body as well as other people's bodies. And again, I'm not telling anybody out there how to parent. That's just what I'm going to do.
Great job by the producers. First topic for me, second one for you.
When you got to get it in,
you got to get it out. But to get it out,
you got to get it in.
There we go.
The lesson for the day. Coming up on DBL, actor and comedian Patton Oswalt is telling us all about his new animated series. It's the latest in the ever-growing Marvel universe. And Zac Efron, is that you, bro? Stephanie tells us what up with his face, that is, in What Up Wednesday. That's coming up next.
Closed captioning provided by
The world's biggest jeweler, Pandora, says it will no longer use mined diamonds, instead selling only lab-made sparklers. So why the change? Let's connect the dots. Diamonds may be a symbol of enduring love, but there is a lot of blood, sweat, and tears before they land in that velvet jewelry box. In Africa, where many of Earth's diamonds are mined, the gems have helped finance violent civil wars, fed corruption, and propped up brutal dictators. Miners on the continent are not just underpaid, they are also physically abused. Experts also estimate over 70 countries use child labor to get diamonds out of the ground. Then there is the environmental impact. While in some countries diamond mining is heavily regulated, there are just as many where it is not. This has led to deforestation, rivers being rerouted, and land stripped of its topsoil. For impoverished countries, this can be devastating to farmers who have depended on those resources for generations. So what's a lab-grown diamond? Let's just say these aren't rhinestones, they are the real thing. But instead of being drilled out of the ground, scientists grow them in a lab. They use carbon and subject it to high temperatures and pressure, mimicking the natural process. The resulting diamonds are identical to the ones found in the earth, plus lab-made diamonds are cheaper, meaning you can shine bright like Rihanna without spending like her.
Welcome back to DBL. I'm Stephanie Jones, here to dish the week's best celeb gossip. Like, did Zac Efron change his famous face? And what is Posh Spice's newest accessory? It's What Up Wednesday. But first, we're heading to Los Angeles, where Ben Affleck is back in the news for his dating escapades. Just days after rumors have started swirling around he and ex Jennifer Lopez, who many think have been spending time together after her split from baseball star Alex Rodriguez, the Oscar winner has apparently been seen multiple times being dropped off close to J-Lo's house and picked up a few hours later. But here is where it gets juicy. A TikTok user went viral after she shared a private video that she says Ben sent her after swiping right on the dating app Raya. She thought it was fake, so unmatched him, but when his video message popped up on her gram, well, this is one girl Ben did not want gone.
Why did you unmatch me? It's me.
Next, we're heading to the South Australian outback, where Zac Efron has posted up to ride out the pandemic. The High School Musical star is no stranger to people talking about looks. I mean, come on. But fans are questioning if he's gone under the knife. So while filming his Netflix show, Down to Earth, Zac posted a photo of himself that many think reveal a newly chiseled chin. And in a video he promoted for Earth Day, fans are convinced his chin is significantly more prominent and square, with a much heavier jawline to boot. Take a look and let me know what you think about it. Here's what's up. Whether you call him Zac Efron or Snack Efron as I do, a little nip and tuck here and there is about as routine as a kale salad in Hollywood. So as long as Zac continues to look, well, like Zac, you won't hear me singing a different tune. And finally, we're back in my neck of the woods with Victoria Beckham, who's trying to figure out the best use of what she calls a bucket full of baby teeth. Posh Spice recently took to the gram seeking advice on what to do with all the baby teeth she's kept from her 4 children. The question was prompted when her youngest, Harper, got a visit from the Tooth Fairy, and she did end up getting some advice from no one other than her future daughter-in-law, actress Nicola Peltz, who's engaged to Brooklyn Beckham. She suggested that Victoria dip the teeth in gold and wear them as a necklace. Now, here's what's up. I love gold and I love sentimental jewelry, but call me crazy, but I'll save the baubles made of human bone for Halloween. That's it for this week's What Up Wednesday. We'll be right back.
We on the...
You know how kids don't play outside as much as they used to? Well, now experts say that trend has an unusual side effect. Children's eyesight is getting worse. Let's connect the dots. Nearsightedness is on the rise in kids, also known as myopia. That's when you can see close objects clearly, but things that are far away are fuzzy. It can be caused by genetics and the environment, but experts say myopia has increased so rapidly that it can't be blamed on genetics. In the United States alone, it's gone from 25% of the population in the 70s to 42%. In Southeast and East Asia, it's estimated 80 to 90% of high schoolers are nearsighted. So what's causing this increase? It might seem easy to blame all that screen time kids have these days, but experts say that is not the direct reason. It's actually because children are getting less natural light. Researchers say exposure to daylight and focusing on things far away outside can delay the onset of myopia, and the pandemic has made things worse. New research shows the eyesight of children quarantined during the onset of coronavirus deteriorated rapidly. There is something you can do about it. Experts say it's not practical to take away screens altogether, but you can impose some rules. They recommend a practice called 20-20-20. That's when you take regular breaks every 20 minutes to look at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds. And of course, more time outside could make a real difference.
That was beautiful. Welcome back to DBL. If you're looking for something new to binge, check out Marvel's MODOK on Hulu. It's all about a supervillain facing his biggest challenge yet, a midlife crisis. Earlier, we caught up with the show's creator, Patton Oswalt, in today's Chatting with the Stars.
Patton Oswalt created the show and stars in it. He joins us live. Hey.
Guys.
How are you?
I am really, really good. How are you guys?
We're doing wonderful. We're so glad that you could join us. Now, before we get to MODOK, we want to get your take on vaccines. Why do you think more Americans aren't getting their shots?
Because of all of the insane misinformation out there and all of the, I don't know. There's just, I didn't realize there was this big of a population that doubted vaccines. I mean, when the polio vaccine came out in 1955, we were still 2 years away from satellites, and everyone just lined up to get it.
Yep.
Now we're like, we've got world brains in our pockets, and there's satellites all over the planet, and there's robots on Mars, and people are like, that vaccine's got wizard poison in it.
I was hoping
how we went backward that way.
Right. Yeah. I was hoping he'd do the rah, 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 rah. That voice is my favorite. Patton, I'm a huge fan. I also follow your Instagram, and I wanted to say hi to Alice, your daughter, who I think is just wonderful and marvelous, and she's growing up to be so lovely. I wanted to ask you, as a comic, has it been harder or easier to joke now that the world's sort of fallen apart?
It was way harder to joke when it was falling apart. There's a like, wow, when things were awful in the 80s, think of how good punk rock was. It's like, well, first off, I'll give back, never mind the Sex Pistols if, the air isn't on fire. Like, it's not worth that trade-off to have the world burned down to get a couple of good albums out of that. And also, the really good punk rock came out during Carter, and then the grunge movement started right when we got rid of, or really flourished right when we got rid of Bush. So I just think that's a myth of like bad times creates great art. It's like, how about we can have both. You can have good times and great art at the same time. I don't know why we fetishize that.
Now, it's been 5 years since your late wife, Michelle McNamara, passed away. So we're looking at your Instagram tribute right now. What advice do you think that she would give you to deal with this crazy year 2020?
She would... I think she'd be laughing at a lot of the craziness that's going on the way that I am trying to, but she would also go check in on your family, check in on your friends.
Yeah.
The more, if your impulse is to check on other people, that spreads and we all kind of get lifted up. I think that would have been her impulse during all this. It's not, don't hunker down. Check in on everybody.
It's beautifully said. Let's jump into your new project. Tell us everything about Marvel's MODOK. If you can use some more punk rock analogies.
She's a punk rocker.
From a previous punk rock girl.
Well, if I could cite the band Wire and their album Pink Flags. Now, that came... No, basically, MODOK is a villain who is just as jealous and angry at the other villains in the Marvel Universe as he is the heroes, because he is this 8th-dimensional brain, superior intellect, somehow on the D-level bottom tier of the villain. So he's struggling with a midlife crisis in terms of being a villain, and then also because of his hubris and his ego, he's like, not only can I rule the world as Emperor MODOK, I can also have a loving family in the suburbs who supports and worships me, both of which are completely falling apart because he is such a damaged ego and so crippled emotionally, and it's now all the birds are coming home to roost, so he's having to deal with both of these collapses at the same time, and it's really, really fun to write and really fun to perform.
So now I need to know what drew you to the role of a self-absorbed supervillain. I mean, he's going through a midlife crisis. Have you ever experienced anything like this? What is the connection?
I mean, look, I'm in show business. I've experienced pettiness and competition on my part. I've experienced envy and why is that person there and I'm here? Like, I think everyone, not just in entertainment, but in all walks of life have experienced that. And I'm like, what if we crank this up to Marvel Jack Kirby levels and really make it cosmic? So that's what I think made it really fun. That's At least that's how I related to it.
Any real life people that you based your supervillain on? Uh-oh.
I'm not gonna say.
Come on,
there were a couple of people that we maybe used as signposts, maybe
motivation,
inspiration.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Tori, I just wanted to say, is Alice going to be watching it? What is the audience? Is it for adults as well? Because it sounds like something I'm kind of struggling through a quarter midlife somewhat crisis. I would enjoy it. Would young kids too as well? I just want to know the audience.
Oh yeah, no, I think young kids, and especially this will be like when you watch like a Pixar movie, or even like our daughter loves Stranger Things and WandaVision.
Oh yeah,
that
so good.
That she loves, and there's stuff as us adults going, oh my God, I can't believe they did that. So it works on both levels.
Love it. I love it. You are a true gem. Thank you so much for chatting with us, Patton. And don't forget to stream Patton's latest series, Marvel's MODOK, on Hulu, May 21st. Thank you. We'll be right back.
Am I good businessman? Yeah, about that. We're back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
The world watched Derek Chauvin's trial unfold live. It was the first televised trial in Minnesota's history. Now, attention turns to the other former officers charged in George Floyd's murder. So let's verify. Will the trial of Two Tao, Thomas Lane, and J. Alexander King be broadcast live? Our sources, court documents, and a spokesperson for Hennepin County District Court. Tao, Lane, and King are set to stand trial together in August, charged with aiding and abetting second-degree murder and aiding and abetting second-degree manslaughter. We now know their trial will be televised, and here's why. Back in November, when the three were set to be tried with Chauvin, the judge ordered that the group's trial could be live-streamed. Court documents show all four former officers supported that. The prosecution did not. But the judge decided a live stream would let the public see that the defendants are fairly dealt with and not unjustly condemned. Even though the judge later separated Chauvin's trial, a spokesperson for Hennepin County District Court tells me that order from the judge still applies to Tao, Lane, and King's trial. And they say the rules are the same as Chauvin's trial. The audio will be muted for off-record sidebars, the jury will remain anonymous, and underage witnesses, as well as George Floyd's family, will be kept off camera. Around a dozen media outlets have already asked the court for permission to broadcast the trial live. So we can verify, yes, the trial for Two Tao, Thomas Lane, and J. Alexander King will be broadcast live, just like Derek Chauvin's. With your Verify, I'm Gabe Cohen.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for a security alert sponsored by LifeLock. Americans will spend almost $30 billion for Mother's Day, and scammers are taking full advantage. Be aware of online shopping scams targeting Mother's Day sales. The scams vary, but the most common ones involve pop-up ads where an item is priced hundreds of dollars less than you saw on the site. That's a red flag, obviously. Here's another tip. Always look for the S in the HTTPS part of the website. I never knew this. The S actually stands for secure, and you can trust that site. When it comes to your financial assets, LifeLock is here to help. LifeLock keeps you and your digital identity secure from cyber criminals. Call 1-800-439-9017 or visit lifelock.com to learn more.
LifeLock.
That was a good one. I never knew that.
I didn't know that either.
And speaking of not knowing things, Brandon, do you want to explain your famous,
okay,
got to get
His quote.
So
your
the
famous
quote,
yes.
to get it in, you have to get it out. That means to.
Sorry.
So if you want to focus, let's say you have a midterm or something coming up.
Okay.
So you
This
have
is for
to.
students.
Yeah, for students. You have to party or something to get it out, so you can get
So you
in
like
your
get out the
focus.
energy,
You know,
is
to
what
get
you're
that
saying,
energy out,
energy,
so you
get
can
your-
bring in the good, focused energy.
Calming in.
Yes.
So
now,
it's an inner self thing,
yes.
not a sexual thing.
Yes. Now
We just wanted
explain
to
the
confirm.
sheep and the dogs.
I love how he
and
throws me under the
Okay,
We
bus.
are
got
out of
10 seconds.
time.
I didn't
We are
mean
out of
anything
time.
by it. I grew up in a
We could
rural
only have
area,
too
guys.
much
That's
knowledge
it.
in one segment. All right, guys, happy Cinco de Mayo. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place.